organised. I'll update all the tribe. So for those of you that don't know, I'm a psychic medium. Yes, I cover the astrology. And yes, the astrology is not helping with streaming, might I add. So, a big warm welcome. I'm late, but it's not me. It wasn't me. It wasn't me. It's Mercury. I was trying to do it so that if my partner calls my twin that, it doesn't cut it out. I tried 3 times. I had to notify YouTube, but I don't know why I bother, because ultimately it is Mercury retrograde. So it's like, hi YouTube, just want to hassle you, you know. Just want to hassle you. It's something completely out of your control. But anywho, okay, I've got my cuppa, but I haven't got to it. So hi Char. I was thinking about you this morning. Oh man. It is what it is, right? You just move along. Anywho, let's see. Hi, Stella. I've got to touch base with you as well. I've been in the thick of it, Stella. Have you too? I've pulled the ruin. I have connected in the cards. I started, and then I thought, gee, I better get this stream set up. You know? Don't ask. It's okay, you're a Libra. I don't need to, I know. It's one of these things at the moment. And I have been looking at the astrology. My mother called me this morning and she's like, what's wrong with you? And I went, oh, I looked at the astrology for the next 3 years. And she was like, is that good? And I went, there's always good. There's always good. There's always bad. It's just unperplexed. Ooh. Okay, we'll keep those for the connection. Okay, there's been a bit of a shift, and I think at the moment, even tuning into Divine Feminines and looking at your cards, I would say at the moment there can be a little bit of frustration. Some of you may be embodying a little bit of anger, but it's more to do with the circumstances that are playing out in your own life. Yes, it is relating to the twin flame path, and these transformations are as such. But it's also because of the big burdens that each individual is directly tackling. So it might be your schedule, it might be the circumstances with Saturn retrograding in Aquarius, you know, it can be the tribe and the energy trying to provide. And there has been a lot of hermit mode due to the fact that Venus is in Cancer. I do feel a lot of you are getting into light body frequency, and I would say some of you are even finding it may be difficult to eat certain foods again. And there can be a little bit of nausea coming through. We definitely did have a good week with the Schumann resonance rising. What I tend to find is you're already embodying a lot of the frequency well and truly before it hits. So although it's high, it's been that build up, and there were spikes and drops which can cause a lot of heavy ascension and nervous energy, especially with Uranus and Taurus. So if that has been something that's been happening, you're not crazy. You know, it's collective consciousness. It's asking. You're super hungry. Yeah. It's because your body is needing to upgrade, but it's also going to reject certain food groups. So especially with the transit, you know, really keep an eye on the moon, and it'll take on the demeanor of the zodiac sign. So at the moment, I've had that even when I was channeling the earth signs, which I have. You guys should be by the end of this, like, okay, by Monday, you will have the twin flame updates by element, and it is for the divine masculine in the connection. But so you'll have a gist, but I definitely have seen that in the members hub at the moment when I did the earth signs, and you know, we do even the ruin that's coming through here is relating to such. It's really will be difficult transit for earth signs because they're quite fixed. And the ascension will be as such. It's really getting, you know, your base chakra in alignment. There's a lot of heart chakra, although it's more the anxiousness. I'm not directly feeling at the moment it's this massive heart chakra activation. I think it's really, it's the flight of possibility, not necessarily you're having this expansion of loving everything in your life. You know what I mean? You're like, whoa, okay. So that's how long it takes to do shopping. You're going to find everything you're trying to do at the moment is going to take 20 times longer. It's going to drive you crazy. You're going to feel like you ran a marathon, but maybe just got shopping done. You know, every experience, especially because we do have Venus in Cancer, we just want that comfort food. I tend to find that when it's in the placement of Taurus, and it's more the Mars energy, you know, increases appetite. So at the moment it's in Leo, so there could be a lot of headaches. There is a shift. There's the shift of possibility, but there's definitely anxiousness, and it depends on each person of where they are on their ascension path. You know, how you directly deal with the circumstances. And I feel at the moment, feminines are in a lot of masculine energy. So feminines are having to achieve a lot. That can be career related, family related, but it's almost like you're it. And even you guys got 2 cards come out, and this is the joint connection of where it stands. And I'm also checking with external influences, i.e. challenges, karmic partners, you know, to see how that's playing out. Something coming up over there. Okay. You guys feel pig in the middle for some reason. I mean, there's a lot of healing coming in through your energy in the joint energy. Now, the ruin that I have for the joint connection, it's a little bit like X marks the spot, but it's not. Now, it's related to Saturn. It's funny because Divine Feminines, you're embodying Saturn. You got Grandfather Sky. So you're coming through. You have a separate ruin, but you actually have 2 chakra cards that fell out. Now, in the joint connection, there's the foundation, which is Capricorn. Really, you know, trying to get your strength back. But again, because we do have Jupiter and Pisces, we're having to look at our health. We're having to look at our well-being. And also a lot of shadow work. And the shadow work you'll find the further into your ascension you get. Yes, I've been like that. But you'll find it's actually external. It's not directly that you haven't transformed, but you're going to find you're really auto-correcting yourself and maybe not relating to people, places, and things in the same fashion. You know, stay flexible with it because it's going to change. It's shifting. But, you know, the food is light body experience. So you're going to go off food, onto food. Feel hungry, go to eat and feel like you ate a dinosaur. You may go to the bathroom. It can cause blockages initially and then clear it out. So it's very good at the moment to maybe drink lemon water, maybe get onto a little, you know, keep your fluids up so that you can flush those toxins out of your system so you can support your auric field. You do have healing, and I feel both individuals are going through a bit of a psychological healing energy, but there are a lot that are going to be reaching out to communicate, and both parties are directly thinking on the principle of what will be required to heal this, but you're also healing other energies. Sometimes it's directly the circle that you are in. There is a cycle that you are closing, and it's a rippling effect. So, you know, the theme of first wave has came through for me this morning, and I was literally feeling in the next 3 months and the next 3 years, and that's because I've looked at the astrology. You know, this separation time is absolutely necessary, especially since I've looked at the astrology looking forward. And you're really going to be unable to be codependent in that scenario, especially as the nodes shift next year. And I feel, look, most of, you know, the people that I coach, I'm super proud of you. I'm actually gobsmacked, to be quite honest. I mean, but, you know, you do the work, right? So that's going to benefit you moving forward, where you will be self-reliant, where you won't be codependent, where you will be, the connection will be the salt and pepper. But you'll have perspective of how each other have lived. And there will be less to no resentment. It becomes different. That's what I can say. There is, you know, whatever you're carrying, it's going to come up and it's going to be shown to you. And at the moment, there can be a lot of conflict, and that can be on both sides of the fence. You know, don't just go to the bad stories that you had with this person. But ultimately, you could be getting a little bit of ascension energy relating to external energies, and you could be highly sensitive at the moment to vibration. So if you walk into a room, you may feel it. There is something to do with responsibility coming up, and it can be a foundation. But I feel both parties in their own personal lives, as well as directly connected to this connection, how can I put it? I'll read the ruin. The constellation is Capricorn at the moment. Pluto is in the house of Capricorn, which means this hair's peeving me off, so forgive me. It's a bit rude of me. I'm ill prepared. With Capricorn, it's births, deaths, endings, okay? It's retrograde at the moment. It has been for a bit. But it's also the Saturnian energy, which Capricorn is. Okay, psychic protection. All right, so I've got the pom-pom on the head. Personal needs, self-preservation, intervention, spiritual and esoteric. Spiritual needs, deliverance from distress, self-mastery, and transcendence. Reversed. I'm going to check if it's reversed because, you know, some of the cards here are funky. I feel this is external. It is a 5 and we're in a number 6 at the moment. Yeah, we're in a number 6. We're in June. Yeah, I feel this is external energies. Now, reversed, it can be greed, excess, impatience, extinguishing of the inner fire. And really, you know, to get into yin-yang, and I do feel feminines, you guys are doing it, but the fair-based frequency is maybe challenging you. Then the memory sense, because as you're transcending and you're moving up and beyond, it's actually triggering a change in both individuals. And I really have seen, especially with my coaching sessions, feminines at the moment are in the masculine energy, and you're doing that really good. Okay, you're doing it for a sister. You're doing it really good. The masculines are in the element of emotion, which is great. It's necessary. It's part of their energy. It's part of a requirement. It's like needing to really sense how they feel. They have presence, okay? Their crown chakra with Jupiter and Pisces is really, you know, in that awakening state, and they do have a lot of chemistry, but they're really driven by what navigates them. They're driven by their truth. They're having some, I would say they're having some, you know, walls come up, but it's not defining them. It's not stopping them from moving forward. And it does feel as though they've almost got tunnel vision. They're really mushy. It's quite cute to feel into that energy. You know, it's going in my angel sphere to tread, but it's more in the correct direction, so to speak. Feminines, you have a lot to say. You got throat chakra. Look at this. What the hell? There's throat chakra. I'm telling you, that was happening the other day, and I was thinking, where is that coming from? I tell you, I had my heater on. I hope my head's not going to go fluoro, but if it does, I apologise. Okay, I'm seeing this to be conflict, and at the moment, I don't feel the hold-up has been you, okay? And this was something that came through to me yesterday. I don't think it's you. I feel there is a circumstance happening on each side of the fence, and that's for feminines and masculines, and it feels quite personal in nature. And this is becoming a bit tedious. So it can be a family-related dynamic. It might be a work-related dynamic, but it is directly affecting the ability for both parties to move forward. Now, number one, I do feel they've looked at the difference between a lover and a partner. Ding, ding, ding. And I do feel most feminines are reaching that epiphany too, especially those of you in a karmic connection. It's like, okay, we've been doing the same thing here, and that depends on if you're a first waver or a second waver. If you're a second waver, you know, we could be dancing with the devil still. We could be going, oh, you know, no shade. It's part of the process. We've all been there. But at the moment, you know, it's masculines are resisting temptation. They're not looking at it in an attractive sense. There is and they do feel you've changed. You're more centered. You're more grounded. But you also are quite independent. So they do feel they get the both in you, right? They feel they legitimately, I don't think some of them felt that you guys were ready to settle down, and it doesn't mean that you weren't, but spiritually speaking, some of the things that you were requiring from a masculine, they didn't feel they had that in them at the time, and they really are embodying it now because they're having the courage to do such, but they're also seeing how wonderful it is to see somebody who is directly unconditionally loving them. And it doesn't mean to say, and I had this conversation with my daughter this morning. She was comparing notes to an experience she had, and she says, yes, but that's different with you and your twin. Hey, True Heart. And I said, no, it's not, because we were friends. I never, through my life, I never really, you know, I was happy to have the connection, But I was also happy if I didn't have the connection. I wanted him in my life. It wasn't always possible though, because a lot of times when a person's in a karmic relationship, they require another to do as they're told. And that can be, no harm or intent was meant, but they will choose to block you. And 9 times out of 10, that's the masculine giving their power away. It's also directly their choice. They're allowing such. So don't take it personal. That's a them issue. That's not a you issue. And it can swap either side. We do such. Good old unhealthy boundaries. So there appears to be the pursuit of happiness is not ignorable, but the limitations of material comforts and luxuries must be recognized in order for the questing soul to seek deeper nourishment. Uranus and Taurus, I'm telling you, and that's really what we're going to be looking at in 2022, is that you will need to be self-reliant. You will not be able to be codependency can come out next year, and that will not bode well in a twin flame connection. I've been on the path 25 years. It doesn't work in a twin flame connection, even in union. And that doesn't mean to say you can't have a traditional connection. It just means that, if you're shifting the focus and you're getting into fear-based frequency, it's your shadow. You have to look at it. It's tedious, but you do it. Okay, so I feel that it warns us to consider our deepest needs and guarding against slavery or compulsive desires. And look at this. I mean, masculines, they're furious. They're like, you can take my money, but you can't take my sanity. I see love. I understand and compassion. I understand what love means. And love can mean that you can mess up and a person can look at you and go, it wasn't okay what you did. I can understand maybe why you did X, Y, Z. We're different now. You're showing up. Sweet, let's go. I'll have to do videos based on it later. So the passion is here, but it's the sacral chakra. So the sacral chakra at the moment for masculines, they're psychically having the downloads of what they need to do. So if the, I don't know why I thought of the term seediness. I don't know why that word came up. If the queasiness that you guys are getting at the moment, I feel they're detoxing. I feel they're getting into light body mode. They may have been eating and nurturing themselves, very similar to the way we do when we're emotional. It's in a child. But I feel, any habits, it's almost like they're looking at their diet, they're looking at their nutrition, they're changing things up. Their emotions may be highly susceptible at the moment to what circumstances are playing out around them, but they are, in their mind, they're like, okay, be it it's exes, places, things, be it it's karmics, things that aren't working for them, they're really looking, it's up in their head and they're like, I just don't resonate with it. That's what's coming through. It's like in their mind, the old version of them is very much the old version. And initially it does feel scary, but now they're feeling this presence of peace. It's like, oh, it's quiet. It's peaceful. They don't miss it. They've overcome the temptation because the temptation was coming from a pain body experience. So this might have been addictive tendencies, codependency. What they've got in their past is they did know this would come up. They did know that this would be addressed and that they would outgrow this. And I just feel that they've made peace with it. They feel no angst to people, but they definitely won't hold themselves back. And they've really learned a lot about healthy boundaries. If they currently are in a circumstance, I really don't feel this will work too well. And I have pulled the karmic energies for feminine and masculine, both sides. Now that can be a workplace. We'll articulate it depending on how it comes through. So we'll see what the cards are when we get there. So the sacral chakra is empowerment. It's owning one's power. And I do feel that, again, you do tend to find these addictive tendencies can come through that chakra system. So it does appear to be that they've got that now under control and they're looking at such. I don't know why they make it. It's almost like they're looking at their parents. They're quite, and it might be that they're directly looking in the mirror and going, how did I get here? How did I get to this place? They're loving themselves for it because they feel that they lost their fire. They lost their passion and lust for life. And now it's almost like they're digging themselves out of that coffin. They're really looking at it saying, look, this was not meant for me. It's survival instincts. Survival instincts came through this morning psychically, especially when we have these circumstances in our life and we're trying to work out how to get rid of the wounds. And we say, oh, I can't go on. The astrology is so bad. When is it going to get better? When you're faced with a real adverse situation, it's really unique to see how your survival instincts kick in, and there is that self-preservation energy coming. So I do feel some of them have really hit rock bottom, and they're having this revelation, really, that there's no hate towards the past. There's gratitude to the past, even for their trespasses, and these are the words that are coming to me. They literally feel it's really changed them, and it was almost like it was absolutely necessary to happen in their life for them to see the shadow. At the heart of it, they're wanting to move towards you, okay? They really do. There is fears, though. They're wanting to move towards you. They're coming out of hermit mode. But the funny thing is, these shadow energies that they were avoiding with you, Divine Feminine, I'm feeling a lot of heart chakra now. These... They're having it, not me. They're sort of, the B is to do with love, which is heart. Abandonment's coming up, but it's almost like once you've had that revelation, you might have that little, oh, I love them. And then you're like, what's it? Rabbit. I'm hearing rabbit. It's like, I better bloody get my, trot on. I'm running out of time. So they're freaking out. So there can be a little bit of anxiousness that you're not used to seeing them experience. So for those of you that are in communication, if they're acting odd and they're, I'll just leave it at that. You'll understand what I'm talking about. You'll understand why. Right. But they're anxious. It's almost like, I'm telling you, it's like the roles are swapped. It's like they're embodying what the Divine Feminine went through. And I always say this, they ascend quicker than us. Don't ever feel you're ahead of them. I was rudely mistaken. I was so rudely mistaken in my path. There are times when we were completely in sync, and there were other times I was like, heck, he's actually way ahead of me. I've got to get my life together. So they do surprise you, but this person here is almost like looking at it because the art of appreciation and the love is so great. It's like they're wanting to consume you. Yep. They want that fresh start. They're going to do anything. Nothing is going to stop them from coming towards you. They're being hard on themselves. They're like, this is what you need to do. This is what it's got to look like. They've got a resume. But they're literally, hell and high water, they will move, because as far as they're concerned, they're not letting go. Let's have a look at their ruin. What's playing out for them? I do feel so, and we'll check into the... Like, I'm getting there. It's Mercury. I probably flicked past the ruin cast and I didn't even notice. Hayley. Hey, doll. Okay, so it is... it's not reverse, but it's backwards anyway. This is the ruin for the masculines. What have we got? Venus. Venus and bloody Cancer. Oh, God. Abandonment issues. This can be a little bit of obsessive energy, especially with the passion. It's like, I don't want to be alone. Can we hang out? Can I just come over and see you? Can I just talk to you? But they're looking at it from a grounded approach, but they're looking to the future. They've learnt from the past. It's not in reverse. It's moving forward. It's in the upright. And it's facing forward, baby. Okay? So, it's Venus, fire, and earth. All right. Which makes sense. The connected energy is medicine bag. Yep. Cunning skills, controlling energy, successful ideas, intimate attraction. I told you sacral chakra's there. Spiritual illumination, 12th house Pisces, inner guidance. Painful healing, cranker, ignorance, and darkness. They've been through that. They're moving that way, baby. Okay, so they've really, really, really made peace with where they were at. They were psychoanalyzing the circumstances, maybe even felt by society standards they needed to be certain things for certain individuals, and I will look at that. We'll look at that now. Okay, for some reason, in the karmic path linking to masculines, I'm going to pull a clarifier on this. As soon as it came out, I was like, what the devil does that mean? Okay, they have ancestors. Now, this can be a few things. Ancestors can be that there may be someone who has transcended over. It also may be what they feel is their inherited right. It may be a DNA test. It could be pregnancies, but it's something they're trying to do in binding. Could even be bonding spells. It never works permanently. Right. Actually, it's really messy for them. If you are into Wiccan, from a spiritual point of view, during eclipses, don't do such. Not even if you're into the good old stuff. You know, really not good. You know, wait till after. You know, that's hardcore stuff. You mess yourself up. You wait for a brighter day. What is this to do with, please? What is this to do with? I might have to pull a tarot card. Really? There seems to be a fight here. This may be relating to the masculine or what they think they should be. I don't think that will work too well because masculines are coming through pretty, what would the word be? Assertive. Pretty assertive at the moment. I don't think that's going to work. What is this to do with? They feel they're owed. Okay, how is masculine relating to this, please? They saw the signs. Okay, there appears to be a mindset at the moment coming from the karmic side. Like I said, I mentioned what these themes can be. As far as they're concerned, they're owed such. And they're also trying to bring karma. This can be towards feminine side or other people's sides, but as far as they're concerned, you know, they're thinking, you know, this was part of their destiny. Some of them can actually think that they are soulmate twin flames. And at a spiritual point in time, it may have resonated on that same frequency, so to speak, which would have felt as such, if you know what I mean. But there could be something to do with lineage, family, children. It could be property. Again, it's ancestry. But the concern is that this is their value systems and it is to do with divine masculine. Now, the crowning energy, interestingly enough, is responsibility in reverse because they don't want to do such. And it may feel a little bit karmic in nature of what they're dealing with. This may be almost like for a group of them, and I will pick 3 cards for those still in a connection. I'm going to get this one, okay? Those that are still in the connection, I want to see what's going on with that. Because I feel this is more to do with the ones that, look, even with the ones that are together, it's almost like there's a dispute over who does what. You know, whether this can be salvaged. I do feel for those that they have had the separation, I really feel as though there could be a little bit of anger, but also giving their power away and you know, could be pointing fingers. It could be. It could be. Yeah, they're stuck in their head. They've got a viewpoint. They could be going to extremities, but it's also they can't handle the circumstance that's playing out. This can be to do with the young energy. And the fact that they don't want you two to be together. But they also, they're having a revelation that this isn't coming back. Hi, Andrew. Yeah, they're really having a revelation that this connection isn't coming back. There may have been something that went down that is really affecting it, and there's a lot of jealousy there. There's a lot of jealousy projected, and this person, I'm going to pull another chakra card because I really get this vibe that this person is not quite all there. Quite all there. And that's really been this week as I've been recording the videos. Even in the twin flame connections, I've been getting that download with particular karmic cycles. Not all of them, but with particular karmic cycles, I'm, yeah, like not thinking, not acting. Could be a bit of depression, but just reacting. It's very reactive energy without thought, not considering words. Very codependent in the past. Maybe they had... they were like, yep, that's fine. Okay, we've come to an agreement. This is what something's going to be. But it might have been for the abundance over the direct connection. I do feel there's some sense of communication being exchanged. And I do think they're going to look over it. But I think, if anything, they just feel they're selling themselves short. Because it goes to extremities. So it does really overwhelm them. And they actually feel quite ill when they're around it. This person feels this is normal. This karmic group actually feels this is normal. But the masculine's not thinking that. They're like, this ain't normal. Okay, how does the masculine feel to do with this circumstance? I just get pings in my forehead like it's a headache. I love you, hun, but I can't talk. I'll have to call my partner back. They don't think this is what love looks like. Okay? They will, they tried, but they feel love is different. It's giving and taking. And so they're quite perplexed by the way this person sees. Yeah, they don't see things the same either. They both don't say anything because they feel they have before. I do feel they actually may have mentioned. I'm going to pull a clarifier on love. Kindness, benevolence, sharing, receiving. Maybe at a point, like I said, each party was getting what they needed out of the circumstance. At this point, I don't feel masculines are seeing. So yeah, it's like they don't think that was a happy transaction. They were like, no, that's not happiness. And happiness doesn't mean you need to buy a person a bar of chocolate or a bunch of flowers. It's tranquil. Yes, you have mountains to climb, but it's not a battlefield. Okay? Well, it can be. Let's hope that's in a good way. Definitely, twin flame path hasn't been as smooth. Yeah, they're saying the falsity of it. They're like, look, this is something that they felt was normal. This is what they felt they were deserving of. Okay, what is the problem? What's the problem over there? And what is the solution? Well, the problem is the person's viewpoints, values, maybe well-being. How it affects them is it causes chaos in masculine's life. What the outcome is, it is masculines are not dancing with this. I'm telling you, okay. In between you, I do feel they are comparing. I do feel they've compared between both you of the past and you compared to other people. There's a little bit of insecurity coming through, though, but they definitely know where they're going. But I do feel they're being quite protective of you, Divine Feminine. You guys can be having maybe some psychic downloads, dream states and things coming through, but you really have this idea of how this connection comes about. It's almost like you're acquiring it to look a certain way, but you also want information. Some of you are feeling as though it's not coming back. And, really wary whether you're ready to have this connection with them. But I do feel you're casting a critical eye. And I feel you're more than inclined to address it when it arrives over trying to make a decision based on, something that hasn't shown its face. And I really had to say that to myself. How can I answer something that hasn't arrived? And if it arrives, I'll address it then. This really does feel, some of you could actually have people that are interested in you at the moment. However, I do feel this connection is very loud at the moment. You guys, for some reason, are leading the way, but not in the way you think. It's only because you're quite focused on yourself that this is shoving this faster. But your foundation, something in your world is about to change. It's about to change quite largely. Okay, how are they feeling? They're being quite hard on themselves. I do feel some of them have a little bit of financial issues, but they're not being chained to it the way they used to. They definitely have the awareness that what they had in the past is very different to what they have with you. Even at the very smallest of levels of interactions, depending on how much you were together, you know, that's the way they're articulating it. It's regardless of the time frame they have spent with you, they actually felt it was quality. I do feel they're wanting to offer this commitment to you. I do feel they're going to talk to you about some of the things that are playing on their mind. I just feel their emotional body is really, they're hoping you're going to be patient with them, and they feel you are, but there's something that they're wanting to tell you that is pretty large. That card really worries me. I think in the heart of it, sometimes they feel, you know, that they were really a sinking submarine and the past has really taxed them, okay? The past has really got them to a point where sometimes, unless, like, it's like they're having this revelation that they need to have purpose. They need to have purpose in order to have that happiness, and without that, they feel dead. The past has directly affected them, though, quite profoundly. They are overcoming it, but they're still going to come towards you a little bit. I wouldn't say jaded. I'm not feeling jaded. I'm more feeling, you know, a little bit like PTSD. It's like, wow, you know, that was pretty hellish what they just went through. They know that, look, they feel towards you that, you know, that they feel they want to give you the world. And they're really wanting to rebuild the respect with you. But they feel they won't be able to do such if the trust cannot be, you know, rebuilt, so to speak. So the respect factor, they're thinking of it, and they do feel that you did give them a lot of respect. What they're hoping for is that with this conversation of information they bring towards you and the steps they're willing to take, as they're psychologically prepared. At the moment they're getting grounded, they're definitely making plans to move ahead. There is a conflict here. They're not willing to drag this conflict forward towards you, and they are very protective of you. They're saying that they will fight for you, and the heavy changes that they're needing to make, they are psychologically preparing for such. They feel puffed out. I do feel for some of you, the masculine may come in and be intimate with you. I'm just saying. I do feel about 2 to 3 weeks later, you're going to have contact. That's for a group of you. It's not for all of you, but this does feel for a group of you. It could really confuse you, but I feel you kind of sitting there in limbo going, what the? But I don't feel you're triggered. I don't know. I'm just not feeling you're triggered. You're like, okay. I'm telling you, the third eye. It's crazy. Okay, what is the circumstance that feminine needs to be mindful of relating to the cycle? Now, this can play out in 2 ways. Now, in 2 ways, in a sense, this can be relating to the influencer or on your side if you're in a karmic connection. Now, one of the messages that came through is trust needs to be earned, okay? If the leopard hasn't changed its stripes, you observe whether they have erased those stripes, right? Because they earned them, right? There are some that, yes, you can be mutual with. There are some, if they haven't changed their stripes, out of love, compassion, and heart, you may see the presence of a person being stable, but it's what lies beneath. Now, I do feel you need to be grounded to deal with these characters, okay? Because what they're bringing is BS. You need to let them show you. So watch, observe. Now, for some of you, this can be, if you're in a karmic relationship, it may be due to the fact it's causing some stability because you have a lot of stresses on you. Stresses are going to be there whether you're there or not, but the stresses could be coming from avoidance of self. Separately, if you are dealing with a masculine's karmic in any shape or form, don't carry their drama. Don't carry their drama. Be very, very wary. If this person is trying to say, can we be friends? Take your time. Because it comes with a wish and a desire to stop the connection. And it's not, you can't do anything about it. A person is who a person is. It's how you show up and you relate to it. You know, healthy boundaries. Okay, that's not to do with me. Because there's a judgment here, okay? There's a judgment here. And you need to be ready for what's coming. You need to be ready for this situation. I feel someone's going to ask you a question. I do feel you have the ability to handle it, but it is third-party BS. Pick your battles. Pick your battles. You know how this is going to go, okay? This person, from what I'm seeing, has ulterior motives. Because what we're seeing here, they do have insecurities. They may be taking a tactical approach. This may be even in conversations to Divine Masculine. This can be, can we be friends? Can I help you with X, Y, and Z? There may be family relating. They may be coming through very grounded, but their foundation isn't such. Their intention is not such. Okay? Okay, 3 cards, and we'll round it off. Oh, okay. They're an awareness of who you are, what you are, and what they want. This is the Divine Masculines. They're also being very cautious to not bring drama towards you. Okay? They're going to do their very best not to bring drama towards you. They're making healthy, rational, adult decisions. There is a circumstance on their side of the fence they're needing to deal with. And this can be to do with a separation, but also not to fall into victim consciousness. They're addressing their shadow, but I do feel they're really cycling the situation out. But I do see this energy here at the moment, it's like masculines playing chess, cautiously so. Okay, I've got to finish this. It could be signing paperwork. It might be moving. There could be a stalkerish energy. So they're trying to make sure they're leaving the baggage at the door. Yep. Because they know there's a bit of backlash. And the backlash from that, they're not bringing it to you. Any questions? That feels tense. That's a bit of a headache, that one. Now, I do feel with feminines at the moment, there's some challenges that you guys are directly dealing with. I forgot to read your ruin. Because I'm seeing you guys have, you got the throat chakra, you got a lot of activity this week. You're wanting to relax, but your vitality is coming back and you're taking that Saturn approach. It could be you have a lot of projects on you at the moment. You might be looking at your career, leveling up, changing things up, trying to grow businesses, tackling your finances, family, kids, whatever it be. But it does feel there's a lot going on. Some of you are wanting to stay home. Trust your instincts. Trust your instincts at the moment, guys. Why it is, I don't know. It may be due to the fact that we have Venus in Cancer. But yeah, just really interesting at the moment. It's like some of us are having a bit of stagnancy, but the things are going to start moving forward. Too many projects. Tell me about it. As long as they're not pet projects. I am down for pet projects no more. Playing with clay, maybe. That's all right. Yeah, that's funky energy. They're not enjoying it. It's burdensome. Now, that can be a job. It could be whatever it is. There's differing views there, and both parties are not on the same page. But there can be something to do with money involved. Maybe somebody feeling resentful and feeling it's their right. Thanks, sweet. Thank you. Oh, yeah, the ruin. I'll quickly read the ruin. And then anyone who wants a super chat, we do it from $11. Because the first level for the twin flame room is $11 in the join. All the videos are still there if you want to go back and watch them, or if you're a newbie. I want to stay home. Got so much. Yeah, because we're purging, we're clearing out and ushering in new energy. No joke, seriously. Okay, at the moment, feminines, you're in the bloody Venus, okay? Constellation is Swan, you're preparing. Animal is bear, constellation is Cancer, color is green, heart chakra. Water and earth. Nurturing, nourishment, mothering, fertility, beauty, healing, growth. Drink lemon water. Neglect, sterility, intimate perversions. There might be circumstances that you are dealing with, you know, where it could be family related, it might be home related. You're trying to turn that around, but anything that you hadn't caught up on, you are catching up on. They're your creative projects. And I'm gonna pull a clarifier on that, because that may be an external influence, to be quite honest, and I'm feeling it's an external influence. What is this? I'm sure it's an external influence. It's a bit weird. I think some of you could be basing a home-related environment in a, you know, it's something to do with masculine, but it's also something to do with a home-related dynamic. Now, it did come in reverse, okay? It did come in reverse. Let's have a look, Stella. Yeah, I sort of feel with that collective energy with the feminine, there's an external energy coming. External situation. That's what I said to my twin this morning. My number is, no, you gotta let it go. No drama. Let's see what Stella's twin's up to. What's Stella's twin up to, please? You're triggering them, Stella. What have you done? It appears to be that they're going a bit crazy. I do feel the karmic is, you know, they're noticing that the masculine is not present psychologically, and there's a bit of jealousy coming up, but at the moment they're directly feeling that towards you. They know that you're really independent. I feel they know you're back at work, and I feel that they know that you're getting your money and all that, and I think this is triggering them because they're kind of feeling you're preparing. Okay? They feel you're getting ready, and they feel they're behind. Yeah, they're wondering if there's an ulterior motive because they feel that something's going on. I think you're scaring them, Stella. Yep. They feel like you're fed up of this, that nothing's shifted. Don't know, Dale. I feel as though they know you're working. But this is the way your demeanor's coming through. You're very centered, very grounded. But look at the way she's staring. It's like, try me. I feel they may be feeling your vibration. You might be a little bit moody at the moment and emotional. This can be through fatigue, but there's a bit of jealousy. They're sort of feeling at the moment a little bit claustrophobic in the circumstances they're in. And how they're seeing you is almost really pushing them to ascend because they physically feel you're not going to enable. You're not going to make the first move. You know, it's almost been like this standoff. This is panicking them, and I do feel the person that's around them is maybe a little bit insecure, knows that this person's attention's not there, but they also maybe have been working quite a bit or avoiding. You know, this could be doing paperwork, doing some avoidance, because what they're thinking, they're doing what they need to do in their connection, but they're not doing anymore. But they're disconnected. There's a disconnection. Who was next? I can give you a card. Research clue. I don't even know what time it is. It's probably almost 11:30. What's coming to an end? Are you told to prepare? You've got the death card. Are you having a feeling you're needing to end something? This feels intuitive. It doesn't feel, this feels intuitive. This is hunch energy. This is what you're feeling to do with the circumstance. I don't get a bad feeling though. Okay? That's okay, Stella. So this is for research clue. My marriage and his connection is going nowhere. So, two energies. You're in a marriage. He's in a separate energy. Because the Tower at times can be, in order to have that forward momentum, is closing one cycle out and starting another. Thanks, Giggle. Do you know what I mean? What zodiac are you, research clue? Yeah. So in order to start, you can't ever really have a new beginning until both have the courage to choose for self. And the thing is, the masculine will never take you out of connection, and the feminine never takes a person out of a connection. Sometimes it can get complicated and merging can come, and we can say, hey, you know, because we're getting the paperwork and that going. But generally, if the reconciliation happens, the separation can occur because you're avoiding your healing relating to that previous person. So it's almost like universe kind of steps in and moves both parties away from each other so you can do the shadow work of the closing out of the cycle, which is then going to give the connection the better foundation it requires. It's not that it's not working. Universe is giving you an opportunity to clear that. And because you are Gemini, there's lots of changes happening with your zodiac at the moment. And it's especially in the twin flame connection with the 1st and the 7th house, and you having the nodes transit through your signs. I would say some of the real tough aspects at the moment are coming through with Leo, with Taurus, Gemini, Sagittarius, and there's a few other signs, but that for you at a personal level is large. You know, Cancer, Capricorn already went through that transitional state, and the full moon in Capricorn can be a complete ending in Cancer's life, right? So, but it can also be coming to terms with a karmic cycle. So it doesn't have to be physically that they're ending the connection. It could be changing a job, changing diet, purging codependency, health. Do you get what I'm saying? So at the moment, it's happening for you, not to you. That's what I'm getting. Oh, my twin he's going to shoot me. If he was to watch these videos, Alison, could you imagine he'd be like, this bitch? Should I invest in my office furniture this week, or should I wait? Keep your receipts, do such. Look, it's more relating to the quantity, right? And Mercury is more, you're going to have more tedious tasks with signing contract, maybe delivery could be thought. But if you have it there and it's in stock and it's at the right price, you can get good deals during Mercury retrograde. So it's quite, especially because we have Venus in Cancer at the moment. So it's for, you know, it's for luxury and comfort. It's practicality. You know, that'll be there. So it's not that it's bad. I would just keep the receipts. Keep the receipts, so if there's damage or you want to take it back, you know, make sure you know what you're getting into. That's what I would do. It's more the technology aspect of things. Like my mum called me this morning. She goes, oh, you know, I want to buy a car. I probably wouldn't do that right now. I did, you know, inform my twin. His work colleague that he works with wanted to buy a car, and he bought it during mail. I said, please tell him don't get it. He can get it now, don't get it in 3 weeks' time. And this was a while ago. And he ended up getting this car, and he's literally spent $5,000 on top of what he paid for the initial product. He bought a lemon. So technology, be wary of. You know, keep your receipt and you can return it. But it's, why do you think they do Black Friday sales? We do have Mercury retrograde 3 times a year, so we can survive. It's just... Anyway, I better get on to the questions. Naughty me. I think it was Leonix. Was it Leonix? And then it was Alison. Anything on your masculine? I was actually tuning into that earlier. You're pinging up on my radar at the moment, Leonix. I feel as though there is a circumstance at home. Your masculine is really planning at the moment how everything is going to look. I think they're actually really excited, but I think they're actually really peeved as well, right? Yeah, they're like, look, they're like, okay, I need to do this in the correct way. They're mad at themselves, but they're motivated. It's kind of a oxymoron, if you know what I mean. It's like they're mad at themselves, but they feel they've been backed into a corner with the circumstance, and I do feel they're having a conversation. They also feel a little bit micromanaged in the circle that they're mixing. Yeah, they're like, oh, God, I really picked my poison, didn't I? They feel they based a situation on something quite delusional. So I feel it's environmental. I do feel they're going away somewhere. They may have it might be work-related. It might be traveling for work, to get to work. But there's something to do with travel coming up. But they are actually planning. Yeah, it's causing a lot of stress. I think once that's sorted, I do actually see something really positive coming for them, but it's almost like they're going to be stressed till that shifts. I think they're going to keep you in the loop as well. So have fun with that conversation with them, Leonix. Emmy, I'm telling you. Alison is one of my soul sisters as well. Most of you guys that have bookings with me, you've turned into my soul sisters and brothers. It will pick up, I think, collectively, because Mercury's in Gemini. It depends on the industry you work in. You're going to find things slow down, and then bang, they're going to pick up as it goes direct. And yeah, it's probably going to be busier, and it's really going to enter into July. So hold on to your hats if things are slowed down. Remember, this being a 5 vibration, yeah, things are going to pick up. So warehouse work, for instance, you know, it can slow down, but you're going to find it's going to pick up again. There can be issues with mentors and head of staff. There can be changes with head of staff. Schooling systems, again, there can be a lot of board meetings and shifts about in that domain. It's just depends on the industry. So anyway, Emmy Doll sent me a lovely photo, and I should make her blush on YouTube. She's an absolute stunner, this woman, I tell you. I would so feel intimidated to sit near her, next to her near the pool. First song that comes to mind, it was like Diva. Emmy Doll's a hustler. She pretty lit. And Shelley. Shelley's pretty. Leonix is pretty too. And Char. Anyway, I'll be here forever if I do this. I don't know why I'm getting this giggling, Alison. It's almost like I still feel you intuitively know. Something's taking you by amusement, right? It's almost like you have this hunch. You got this little spark back in you, and it's you're being naughty, but you're being playful, right? So you're like, Libras can get that way, okay? I'm just saying. It's like, because we use our pain and we alchemize it, so we can be a little bit cheeky sometimes. It feels as though you're feeling playful. That's okay. You're being playful. I feel as you've recouped, it's almost like you're like, you're done. There feels like it's like the toilet roll syndrome, right? It's a little bit like you've rolled the toilet, you're like, look, I had the red carpet out, and baby, now I'm on the red carpet. It's like you've had this attitude shift, you're leveling up, you're going to have some money coming in, but you're almost like, I'm single. I'm free. I can travel. I can earn my money. I've been to hell and back. You've raised the benchmark. And I don't know why well, I do, because I've been where you've been. And it's almost like you're going, I'm prime real estate. It's just this prime real estate energy. I feel you may be having this notion that you're being watched. I don't know how, but you're having this notion that you're being watched. But it's also teaching someone how to treat you. But I think this circumstance has done such. You know what I mean? Oh, is Alison in the house, or has she hit the road? She's probably hit the road. It's like, okay, I feel you might feel some of his ascension. He's kind of sulking at the moment. And he's like, why did I not pick Alison? You know, because he feels like he's having heavy emotions. He's trying to find a solution. He's a little bit embarrassed. And it's to do with how he's going to, you're tempting him, okay? Whatever you've gone and bloody done, you tempted him, woman, okay? So now he's like, you make me laugh. You do make me laugh. Any other questions before I hit the road? And I'll go and get my lunch. I've already got my dinner on. I put it on at 3 or 4 in the morning. It's in the slow cooker. And I upset the cat because the cat then wanted to eat it. And I'm like, no, no. You're not having that. No. My cat wants to eat my food. That's a compliment, really. Any questions? Last questions. Going once. Going twice. Did I get everyone? I hope I got everyone. I will, sweet. You take care. I like the shape of the furniture you're looking at, by the way. They have nice shapes. Anywho, thanks, guys. Take care. Thank you for liking the video, and hopefully you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for the element updates. They'll be there for the masculines. You can see what's going on in their life. See you soon.